Hey everybody, my name's Dean and I'm from DocFox, as mentioned. Thanks for being here and thanks for Finovate for having us. It's great to see familiar faces again. A couple of people got to meet in person for the first time. I see Phil in the back, the orange shirt, which is good to see everybody. Today I'm going to be talking about business account opening. So if you don't do business accounts and you're more focused on consumer, I will not be offended if you go on your phones for the next 7 minutes. But if you do business accounts, you're in the right place. There's been a lot of innovation on consumer accounts opening over the last several years. Certainly, if you wanted to automate that, there are many, many great vendors out there who do it. But business accounts are different. They're complex. The information you need on a business varies by entity type, jurisdiction. The quantity of that information is a lot more than consumer. And when you think you've got all of that down, there's the curveball of beneficial ownership that comes into it. So there's a lot going on. And the bad news is that a lot of this today is done extremely manually. I used to be a business banker, so I have some PTSD around that myself. I see this. There we go. We're back. But so a lot of it's done manually, creating frustrating client experiences. It takes a long time to get an account open. It's inefficient for your team, and it's just not a great situation. And that's where DocFox comes in. So we're a two-sided portal. So one side of it is where your clients would submit information that they need to give you in order to open an account. And the other side is where your team can run a streamlined review of all the information that they need to review in order to make sure that you're actually comfortable doing business with them. And so I'm going to jump into 3 really important things that DocFox does. It's not exhaustive, so come find us afterwards if you want to jump into more information. But 3 really important things that speak to the bottlenecks in business account opening that exist today. The first one is custom workflows that are really important when you're looking at a solution. The other one is business document review, which is kind of where the secret sauce lies a bit, so I'm excited to share that with you. And then beneficial ownership. And so you're looking at the DocFox portal right now, and I'm going to jump into a little bit of it here. But the first thing really is that custom workflow for any entity type, from any jurisdiction, really creating a bespoke experience for any type of client that's coming through. And not just making it easy for the client, but making it easier for your team too. So if I wanted to add a new client as an example, and I came over here on the top right and said add client, the first thing I see is a bunch of different tiles I can click on. And these are essentially all just different types of workflows. They're totally configurable. You can have as many as you want. But the idea is that as a banker, I just click on the tile that I need, and DocFox takes care of the rest. I don't need to say, well, today I'm onboarding this type of entity from this state or this country or whatever the case may be, and check, what do I collect today? It's all built in. It's all configured. It's really quick and easy for me. And if I'm new in the team, I can jump right in and start onboarding accounts from day one, rather than reading a 50-page manual on how to onboard an account, which is something I had to do in my previous life. And so really creating those bespoke experiences, making sure you're getting the correct information every time is critical. What I want to do now is I want to jump into an example of an account. So let's look at a company called the Jet Room. And down the left-hand side are all the different things that DocFox can help you do. I'm going to be very selective today in terms of what I show you. But you can see all the different kind of things we'd focus on. The next big thing I want to jump into is analyzing business documents. So as a former business banker myself, the bane of my existence was when a client would submit documents to me, but not the documents I actually needed. Maybe they misunderstood the request or whatever the case may be, but then would engage in a really exhilarating game of phone tag or email tag where I'd be chasing them around, trying to find the right information, and I can't really open their account before I have it. It's frustrating for the client. It takes them forever to get an account. They're looking at me like, why is this taking so long? And it leads to really inefficient kind of teams internally. So one of the things that DocFox does that is so critical is we will analyze business accounts in real time. So as a client is interacting with the portal and they submit that articles of incorporation, EIN letter, whatever it may be, and if they make a mistake, we'll pick it up there and then and let them know. So there's no back and forth, there's no chasing anyone around for documents. The starting position as the banker is one of complete information. I'm going to click on the entity documents piece here, and I can see exactly which documents I'd be collecting in the scenario. But you'll see these warnings. Not only are we checking that it's the correct document, but we're extracting data from those documents, so no one has to manually type that in, and then we're running comparisons, looking, cross-referencing the documents to make sure they're telling a consistent story, and if they're not, we'll flag that for you. So no manually opening documents to manually review and check, is this the right stuff, is it telling the same story? As you can see here, A mismatch is the profile that the client submitted does not match the business license in that the registered names of the business don't match and the addresses don't match. Before I've even looked at a document, I know exactly what I need to manage. I can open things like Google Maps and say, well, what did they mean that the business address mismatches? I can click on the pin and see, oh, that's where the business license is. And down the street is what they submitted on their profile. I can very quickly see exactly what's going on. I can even go to Google Street View and take a look around. I might find, in this case, a gas station at that location, and if I wasn't expecting to be onboarding a gas station, red flag, and I might want to look into it. The final thing that I want to speak to is beneficial ownership. So business accounts are complex, and what happens when a business is owned by another business that's owned by a person? You need software that can deal with that. So you can link as many different accounts to this application. Who are the owners? If one of the owners is indeed a corporation, I can click into them, I can drill down, find out who owns that company, collect all the relevant information from them, so I could go to their related parties and see, okay, great, they're owned by Joe Williams, that's the ultimate beneficial owner, and I can see a 360-degree view of all the relationships and drill down in all the due diligence that I need to. Everything that we're doing here is captured on a digital audit trail, so from a regulatory perspective, if an examiner comes in, I'm audit ready 24/7, and if I'm comfortable with the account at this point in time, I can approve it in DocFox, and our sophisticated API architecture then distributes all this information, all the documents, the metadata, etc., to all the different systems that you may be using that are involved in the process. So overall, looking at making it just really easy, simple, fast for your clients to open business accounts, making your team super efficient and helping them scale their processes and getting it right every time. If you find that interesting, we'd love to chat to you. Our table's at the back of the room. I'm here with my colleague Curtis, who's way more interesting than I am, so you should definitely come by and say hi. We'd love to chat to you. Thank you very much.